there's a blue wave coming, and I think Trump is terrified. So early voting numbers show that even in the reddest state of them all, in Texas, Democrats have showed out and outshone Republicans at the moment of writing by over 104,000 across the state, meaning that there's a real possibility Texas will go blue this midterm election. Granted, we're having the March elections right now, the primaries. But yeah, it's entirely possible. Now, this is sort of a good sign to come. However, excuse me, if anyone thought that Trump would take this loss lying like a man, I mean, the baby's still crying about 2020, which he didn't lose, right? So what is the SAVE Act? Well, under the guise of security election, the GOP is trying to make it harder for people to vote, in particular women, married women. Let's be clear about this. This is a targeted attack. The SAVE Act would require a second proof and potentially even third proof, a form of ID for a person who's going to vote. Now, what people? Well, in most heterosexual marriages, the woman takes on the husband's last name. It's a tradition that's slowly on the decline. Most married women, my wife included, took their husband's last name, and now their driver's license does not necessarily reflect the name that they were given when they were born, right? Their birth certificates or their other forms of identification if they got them before they were married. So the women might have to produce a second form of identification and then either a marriage license or a third form of identification. To call this SAVE Act an attack on women's rights is a massive, massive understatement. The fact is that this is voter suppression. Additionally, most people who have had to change their name may not have really access to either a passport or birth certificate or their marriage license. Sometimes things get lost or stolen or damaged. Things are also very expensive to replace sometimes. So replacing a passport has a minimum cost of $160 minimum. And if you need your passport to vote, that's technically a voter tax, which is, say it with me now, unconstitutional. Also, for the maggots who are watching this and thinking, yes, this will screw the Dems. Actually, fun fact, most married women, the ones who they change their names, typically vote Republicans or split, meaning that this is going to hit the GOP either as bad or harder than for Dems. This bill passed in the House, but it will likely fail in the Senate, with the GOP needing 60 votes, but the Dems control 45 seats, seemingly unified in stopping this one act. Can actually hold the line for once. Additionally, the GOP have considered breaking the filibuster with a simple majority. However, there's a big however in this part though. They're seemingly scared to do so because this may actually allow Dems to use the same tool, right? So if Dems, let's say we still win the midterms, even if they do the simple majority thing and enact the SAVE Act, let's say hypothetically Democrats still win in the midterms. That means that if they win the presidency, Congress, and the Senate, they could turn Puerto Rico and DC into separate states, 2 additional states. So now instead of having 50, we'd have 52, securing 4 more senators and more members of Congress, along with adding them and packing a Supreme Court, which is just would be perfect. I wouldn't mind all this. But as of right now, the SAVE Act is at a standstill and should be defeated. Also, fun fact, current projections show that if current trends continue, Republicans will only have 197 seats, with Dems jumping up to 232, which is, that's going to be interesting. That said, what do you think of this whole SAVE Act nonsense? Let us know down below. Greatly appreciate it. Catch y'all next time. Save everybody.